Welcome back to the super, not funny show reviews. And today I'm reviewing Star Trek Strange New Worlds, Season 2, Episode 9. It's entitled Subspace Rhapsody. It's coming to you from Paramount Plus. So, what did I think about it, and should you be watching? And before we get into the review, get down there, hit like on this video. This season, I swear, they are up and down all over the place. Not quality wise, but just thematically and presentation. And it feels like someone told them, just, do whatever wild thing you decide to do. And so I do believe what we get here is the very first musical episode of Star Trek. And, 50 years of shows and movies and whatnot, the first actual real for real musical. And take that as you will. If you don't like musicals, this may not be the episode for you. Even though there is quite a bit of character development and movement on several fronts. But just be warned, they break into song. And yes, there's some, those old scientists, they are pretty much the reason why the whole thing happens. It's something to do with subspace and testing communications and music. And don't think too hard about any kind of science or any kind of consistency or whatever. Don't do that. You're not gonna really make it work. It's one of those fun episodes of Star Trek where just silly shit happens. And in this case, it's Uhura and Spock are testing communications through a natural subspace tear, and nothing works. And then they try to use music, and the music causes essentially a quantum field to open up, and to put them into a reality where whenever anyone has high emotions, they're gonna start singing, and so. It really just gives us an opportunity to see these characters in a context we probably would never ever see them, which is, like they're on Broadway, singing their troubles out. They start out with something like that opening, song in any kind of musical, where everyone kind of gets to sing a little bit, sing their problems away and everything. It's a fun time. It's made even more fun by the fact that. Commander, is he Commander Ed or Lieutenant Kirk rather? He's coming to shadow Pike in preparation for his duties as the executive officer of the Farragut. And boy, what a day to come on, because as he said, I don't sing. And so but he does sing in this episode. And, everyone sort of, trying to figure out what the heck's going on. And they figure out, oh, well, it must be the subspace anomaly. What the heck, what's going on there? Let's see if we can, fix it and make it better. Of course, like, all good Trek things where they're fooling around with exotic, cosmic entities or cosmic, occurrences. They just make it worse. They try to, close the link, make it worse. So instead of just their own, instead of their own ship, it actually extends to the whole subspace, array across the quadrant. So other ships happen. So we get to see, Captain Battelle singing to Pike, and Pike singing to her. And I love that Lon figured out early on that, like, hey, every time people are highly emotional, they're going to sing, and then they're going to end up having, they're going to end up expressing things that they don't mean to express. And she finds this out the hard way of having a solo where she's singing in her room, pining away for Kirk. And of course, Pike doesn't take it seriously until he's literally on his knees singing to Battelle. And I love that. It's the thing is that they can't not do it, so it's selling it like it's a Broadway musical. And then they get up and realize, oh, I just did some embarrassing shit. Okay. So I honestly feel like they just took this as an opportunity to make everyone sort of be silly. You get number one Una she is a featured singer in a couple of songs. She's a featured singer in a song to with Kirk, kind of a duet with Kirk. She's a featured singer in a duet with Lon. She also, in the course of doing the singing, of course, she's moving both of their character arcs forward. In particular, Lon. Now, I want to say they've been focusing on Lon a lot in this series, and she does get more of a feature in this episode also because Kirk's back and she hasn't resolved her issue with him, and she sort of is. I don't want to say forced, but she's sort of kind of by duty has to be around him, and Kirk's observant and is just like wondering what's up, and meanwhile she doesn't know what she should do. And I kind one of the things that really like stood out to me in this episode is the fact that they resolved that whole Kirk romantic line from earlier in the season, and it didn't resolve in the way I wanted, but maybe not the way I wanted, the way I hoped there would be a temporary something between the two of them. But it was also a very, not just respectful, but also, a very, very, I don't want to say friendly, but a very nice letdown by Kirk, who lets her know like, hey, I'm kind of with somebody. I'm with Carol Marcus, and so it's a tying back to the original series and the first Star Trek movie, but also letting La'an kind of put herself out there and realize that hey, the Prime Kirk would have given her a shot too if he weren't already in a situation. Really good stuff. Like La'an, she is probably is my second favorite character in this season. I think they've just done a great job of building her up from just this kind of like tough little security officer, and like really giving us a look inside of her as a person and her insecurities and fears and how she's mastering them and rising to the occasion. And I can see why not just Una likes her as kind of a protege, if you will, but also why La'an would see Una as someone to look up to who has very similar qualities. So in addition to that, you have Spock singing. There's Spock and Chapel's situation also comes to a head in this episode, wherein Spock's basically dumped by a musical number, and because Chapel, which is weird. Like I'm not sure if the previous episode was or the episode before that was what kind of put them on this path, but where she gets accepted into this internship she'll be gone for a few months and doesn't tell Spock, and he sort of has to hear from someone else about it. But then he gets this big musical number basically saying like, I'm gonna do my thing and everything. I'm excited for that. And he sees that it is rejection, and now it's kind of a cold thing between them. I do appreciate the fact that they don't let these threads linger for a long time. Keeping these storylines moving and coming to a good and natural conclusion. And Spock, his being a part human and feeling that rejection, that's got to be a tough time for him. So, but I do love seeing the way they interact. And Nurse Chapel, she's just been so cool this season. It was cool to see her get like this spotlight song. The other highlights I suppose would be just Uhura, of course, Sailor Gooding. She's just a great singer. We already knew that. She following Uhura being known for singing, getting a solo song, getting to be the hero, figuring out what the patterns was, and essentially setting up a big finale for the episode where the entire crew is singing. Really just great stuff. I think she's just a dynamic character. I love to see the whole singing bit, and the finale just excellent. I mean, if this is your stuff, this is if this is the sort of stuff you go for, this hits all the buttons. Especially that little Klingon bit, that kind of like Hamilton-esque Klingon bit at the end where they, they have a little rap singing bit. That's pretty great. At the end of the day, of course, everything, goes back to normal. Kirk and, Kirk goes back to where he's going, but he learned a lot. So it's cool that, he had a wacky adventure on the Enterprise, and that, Lon, she's a stronger person for it. Uhura, she's just, complete another cool ass adventure. And just overall, it was fun. I like this episode. I'm not gonna say I loved it. If I have to be honest, it's probably my second least favorite of the season, but that's a damn high bar because pretty much every episode is something I consider to be a great episode. So that's not any kind of strike on this. I think it's a good episode and it's a fun diversion leading up to like probably a pretty serious season finale. So anyway, those are my thoughts on this episode. What did you guys think about it? What did you think about what I had to say? Get down to the comment section, leave your thoughts there. And of course, you can always hit me up, supernotfunnyshow@gmail.com or at supernotfunnys1 on Twitter. And while you're down there, do me a favor, hit like on this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell. All that good stuff helps to grow this channel, helps more people to see these videos. All right, thanks for joining me on this. Come back next week. We're going to be talking about the season finale of Star Trek Strange New Worlds Season 2. Until then, I've been Mo, your comment extraordinaire on all things pop culture, and I'll see you guys on the other side of the thread. Peace.